if it's
which
better
is
now.
which is interesting because the last
Yes.
time, yes, the last time we did this, we were in StreamYard, and it's the opposite. I gotta turn off OBS mic, and
Oh, so now
it's so confusing.
it's getting used to like a different system. We're gonna try this out though. Hopefully it's
I
gonna
like
work.
this for just the two of us. This seems
Yeah.
really good.
Except that I can't share,
I
which
know.
is
That's
interesting.
that's something either Twitch needs to figure out. So that's something that Ping does have. At least
Mm.
we're like in the trial program for it. So it'd be cool if you could share. I still don't know. Maybe we just need to stand up like a RDP that you can get into.
Ooh,
Nate
Nate.
Lentz.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nate. You rock. When are we gonna have a beer? I haven't seen that guy in so long.
I need a beer.
Yo. Um. So yeah, let me back up for people who didn't hear it. Web Summit, rough to attend. 2 hour line, first night, got shut out of the doors. Second day, stood in line for 2 hours. Um, that was not fun either. Like I said, big house, 110,000 people, 20 minutes in, 20 minutes out. Not two
Yeah.
hours. Like, it was ridiculous. And so that was tough, but from a like Appwrite actually being in the event, I think it's pretty good idea because there's so many stinking people that are like what are they called? They're in like
Enterprise?
Series A, Series B,
Oh,
like they
startup
yeah,
land? Like,
yeah, it's startup land. They called it
okay.
alpha beta. So it was alpha beta growth. That's what they had.
Interesting.
So all these people. So you have investors and you have
Okay.
all of those people. So it's really interesting from that standpoint, and that's probably like the niche target that Appright is looking for is those startups. So
Was there a booth for app right there?
not for Appright. This was
Okay.
purely to figure out if we should have a booth.
And you couldn't even get in the first day. I can't
Yeah.
get over that. Like not getting, buying a ticket, flying halfway across the world for a conference, and then not being able to get in would be, I would be done. I'd be
I
like,
was pretty frustrated for sure.
yeah. I had the opposite experience by going to JamStackConf right after, and you thought about coming to JamStackConf. I think that would have, but you would have been
I'm
exhausted.
glad I
So
didn't because I got so sick on the way
yeah,
back from Portugal. This older lady sat next to me, super nice. She had her mask on and she was just coughing like, oh. And I'm like, yep, I'm gonna get sick. And sure enough, and I felt bad. Like I took a COVID test. I felt so bad.
but you were negative, and
I
it
was
was just like a
negative. Yeah,
cold. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
still
that
kind
sucks.
of like I'm sure I
There's so
sound
many things.
nasally.
I was telling you before we got on, RSV is going around, which is like a cold for kids, but I'm
That
like, I don't
sounds
know. I
nasty.
have like scratchy throat and snotty. Didn't realize it was like that. I watched the Interrupt talk about solid pods, and the house looked packed though. From
Hmm.
Web Summit, I'm assuming.
I don't remember that one. We'll
Huh.
we'll see if Web Summit. Okay, yeah. I don't know if I saw that one. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
RSV, I
sorry,
guess, is
Nate.
rough. My
That's
kids have something, and I never know what it is. It's like all winter long. There's like sniffly noses, and we inevitably end up with something. But JamesTech was amazing. I met so many people I've been wanting to meet. I was telling Alex, I met pretty much every framework author. I think the only one I have yet to meet is Evan Yu. I've met Mishko now, Fred
hmm
Schott,
I
um,
think we should name the things as we do this.
which, okay, so
So
Quick and Angular.
yeah, Angular's kind of big. So that's
So
Mishko.
I was happy. I got to meet Jessica Janik. Do you know who she is?
I don't. I think we were talking about that. I don't know
Yeah,
her.
she's one of the leads on the Angular team at Google. Her
Okay.
card is actually right here. She
Wait.
dresses up as Wonder Woman.
I
She's
think
the
I saw
punter.
her. She was on the like fireside chat, right?
Yes,
Okay.
the framework
Yes.
panel,
Yeah. She
which
seemed pretty
there's
cool.
an awful story about something that happened to her in regards to being asked what she was doing, but I'll save that for off air. Um, so Quick and Angular's Mishko, Fred K. Schott does Astro, um, Rich Harris from Svelte. I didn't meet him there, but I have met him previously. Ryan Carniato from Solid.
Did you get to hang out with Ryan?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I've always
He's a really good guy. He's so smart. He like
yeah.
has so much JavaScript and framework knowledge just in
I don't
general.
think a
Like,
lot of these people their mind ever shuts off either. So
no,
they're on
it's
like
crazy.
peak running mode all the time.
And like I met Steve Sewell from Builder and like Party Town, and he's so nice. Um,
Steve is great. So Steve was
yeah,
my old CEO, founder, co-founder, whatever.
so amazing to meet him. Um,
Super
I
smart
don't
as
know.
well.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet Tim Benix. I was really sad that I didn't get to meet him from Uniform, but he had other people from his team that were there. He got COVID in Toronto with
Yeah, I saw
Vue.
that.
Uh,
I was almost gonna be stuck in the Paris airport, so I reached out. I'm like, "Hey, we link up?" He's like, "No, I am
I've
sick with COVID in
in
Toronto."
Canada.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was like,
that
"That's a
sucks.
bummer."
But there were so many people, and it was so fun, and it was nice to hang out with people. And I feel like James.com just has that community feel. Like you really feel like the
Mhm.
people are there to like make the web better, and I like that atmosphere. But it was fun. It was so cold though. San
Yeah,
Francisco, it was an open air venue too, and so all of the cold winter air from San Francisco was coming into the venue. It was cold,
I
but
heard
it was
that.
fun.
That's
Yeah,
yucky.
yeah.
Well,
All right.
I think that like finally catches us up. I feel like you and I haven't talked for like a month.
I know
Our
we've been traveling, and
you kind of took over the streams. You got to talk to B Dougie while I was gone.
I did, yeah. And I actually got to meet B Dougie at James.com too.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Did you happen to see Brandon floating around?
No,
He's with B Dougie now. I don't know if he was out there or not.
no, I talked to him a little bit about that, and he's with him, but I didn't meet Brandon
Okay,
there. I
cool.
think Brian was by himself.
Um, yeah, I think that's it. Oh, next comp happened. I don't know if anyone actually made it to next comp.
Um,
Guillermo was in
it
his
was
like black
a an
shirt.
invite only.
Oh yes.
I heard some things about that that I will also say for all fair.
Guillermo was looking interesting with the black shirt, black background going on. It was a lot to take in.
Yeah, people are comparing it to like Steve Jobs and Apple, and it's very reminiscent of that.
Hey, who's Ryan K. Hawkins? Hawkins. Oh, never mind. The request went away. Ryan, if you want to chat with us, feel free to
Oh,
jump back in
I
there.
was like, I don't know. Should I?
Okay.
Someone
Someone
who
who
pressed
pressed.
record.
Welcome.
Nice.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome. We're just chatting and catching up. We were saying we haven't really talked in like a month. We've both been traveling. I did a thing with B Dougie. I did a stream by myself. And then we took maybe a week or two off.
Yeah, I was gonna mention, I can I say that yet? Mm, we have an affiliation we're working on that I'd like to run your stream through. Um, it's not finalized, but I think we can talk about it.
Huh?
Contenda.
Oh, I'm like, I
I know I'm
I
beating
have
around the
no
bush because
idea where
I'm
you were
like, I
going with
can't
that.
remember where our talks have left off, and I think they're on a little bit of a
I do
vacation right now.
remember like you saying something about that now, and that would be really awesome. And if you don't know what Contenda is, Cassidy Williams, Cassidy, is their CTO now.
Yeah, it might be COO,
COO.
I
Okay,
think.
I can never with the acronyms.
Yeah,
I don't.
I
It
think
doesn't
she's the
matter.
operating officer.
She's at Contenda now.
Yes.
But it's this really cool software that will take like a video or anything and turn it into other pieces of content, which is amazing for a DevRel. So like a
Yeah.
blog post out of a video.
And that's our whole thing. We want to be able to like do this live code. The amazing part on it is I'm gonna call it AI, even though I don't. That's a loose term for me.
Did,
But it'll run it on our code samples, so it
yeah.
actually pulls code like from the screen out and produces it in code blocks
Yeah,
for us.
that is insane.
Yeah,
Did you ever try Whisper AI? Did I tell you about that?
I did try Whisper. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's built on the natural language one too.
Kevin in Svelte Society has been using that on our Svelte Sirens and Svelte Society videos. And it takes like, it's a lot of tedious work, but he just runs it through and it gets words like spelt right that no other software can get.
That's
And
impressive.
it will get like index.svelte, or like the whole thing comes out correctly.
Wow.
I don't know that it does like code blocks, but
Cool.
yeah.
I think that's it. That's all the conferences, or a lot of them. There's been so many.
All the catch up.
And now
There
we're into
has.
holiday season. So today, Appwrite announced their new console on Product Hunt. Go check it out, folks. I should probably
Yeah.
drop the link. I had it in the
You
private
should drop
chat.
the link so they can upvote it. I just
There you go.
noticed that
Upvote.
our backstage thing, they have a responsive issue. I'm on a 1080p monitor and my chat box is cut off at the bottom and I can't scroll to it.
Interesting.
That's nice, but yeah,
Um,
lots of fun.
and so what we're continuously trying to live code is DevRel Social. And I think today we're going to work on. Brittany has tried to convince me to move to Svelte many times, so I think we're going to try to switch
Is
her
that
over.
officially what we're going to do today? Okay.
I don't know.
So you have a
I don't know
working
where things
version
will
in
go.
Next, right? So can we use the things that you have built into Next? Like, is it
So,
Appwrite or is it using
oops,
Firebase?
oops. This is all using Appwrite.
Appwrite, okay. So you have the Appwrite database set up
So
for the
what I
next
was
step.
going to do is show off the new console because
Go for it. Do it.
check this
Brent.
out.
Brent says do it.
This is written
That
in
looks pretty
SvelteKit.
slick.
What do you think?
What about SvelteKit? Oh, the SvelteKit.
This is Svelte and SvelteKit.
Oh,
Which
what?
we went from, I think they said 87 on the Lighthouse score to like 98. So things are pretty good. I've noticed a few things, but it's like, you release and there's a few bugs type of thing. I
But
think
that is nice.
DevRel Social's right here. So let's switch into that one.
People investing in Svelte. I love it.
Do it. So here's our
Did you not hear me
project.
say that like 3 times?
I did, and I couldn't
And you
figure
were
out
like,
for the
"You
life of
know
me
why I
what
was
you.
saying
I'm like, why are you saying that? Oh, jeez. So I think if I were to see, I think our request analytics are off because if I put it in 24 hours, it should show this as a function call. So I don't know what's going on there. So should we walk through this again, how it works in the new console? Just 5 minute, 10 minute?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I don't remember anything that we did before. And it's new, right? So go for it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I'm chomping on cough drops today because my throat hurts. So
You're fired. So there's dark mode.
can I be fired?
There's dark mode and burn your eyes out mode.
I seriously think that every time I see white mode, I'm like, why?
People love it. I'm like,
And then there are people that really like prefer
I know.
it.
When they're dedicated to the light mode, they are dedicated.
Yeah.
So here's the console. Pretty excited about it. I think I keep hearing it took them a year. I've only been at Appwrite 4 months, and the old one was okay. This is amazing. In my opinion, it's it's gonna have tweaks and things to work through, but here's our new auth area. What we have is in settings. Interesting.
So you can set up your OAuth providers.
This does not look like it's correct to me because this is all should be set up.
Don't share any secrets.
Yeah, no secrets. I have to redo all that all over again. So that actually should show enabled. So I might have to report that one back. But
Is
I
it
was
set up
able
correctly?
to log in. So
Oh, okay. So
I did log in. So that's that. Our databases, we don't really have much so far. We have like a users collection.
but this is what the Next.js app is running on, right?
The
This
backend
database.
for Next, yes.
Okay.
For Next itself, it's obviously going to be run on Netlify or Vercel or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the functions are kind of.
What are you running
See,
because
this-
they don't have cloud hosting. What are you running the database on?
I'm kind of nervous to figure this out. Hang on one sec. I'm gonna remove this from the stream one sec. I'm trying to figure out why all the things I think should be there are not there. Oh, that just removed it from you, not from OBS. My bad. So I'm gonna pop open the old .env over here so we don't expose some things again. I'm really tired of resetting stuff. Yeah, so something's a little off with this because I do have functions running. So that's
Is
kind
it
of
the
interesting.
Appwrite sync that's off, or is it the what is off? I don't know.
I don't know either. I just had to migrate to this new console, so maybe something's up with that.
I was trying to see if I have this local on my machine. Don't know what I would
DevRel
have put
Social
it.
functions. So the other cool thing, do you ever use Docker?
No, I told you you're not allowed to install it on my machine.
So here's what this actually looks like. Here is our worker functions spitting out all the fun stuff. So this is all of Appwrite if you've never like seen it running. So if you run this like up in the cloud or wherever, these are the Docker containers that run all of Appwrite. So you can kind of see in here when you look at like the Redis database, not really using that. MariaDB is what all of our storage is done in. MongoDB should be released the next month, which I'm pretty excited about.
Which term have you heard with many complaints? Docker?
You want to see something really fun? So I'm on my my crazy machine. So my Mac, what are these called? Mac Studio. Look at the memory on this. So this is Docker running right here.
Oh, your new computer that you have, the little.
It takes up 11 gigs. It just like whatever memory it can have, it'll take. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I will not allow it to be ran on my machine.
Okay, so long story short, I don't know why our functions aren't showing up, but everything is working from an API perspective.
And you have the API connections that you need in the code somewhere that we can use.
Let's check out the code.
Should I have you just start a new SvelteKit application and then see if we can start moving things over?
We could, yeah. So there's only like two things that are going to be kind of like interesting to move, and that's going to be the Next.js functions for the Twitter stuff. And then we'll have to move all of these.
So what are Next.js functions? Are those ran as serverless functions? What is that?
Yes, they're serverless.
Okay, so those would be easy to just use as a Netlify serverless function.
Okay. So that's all of these. And what that does is it takes...
Those are written in TypeScript, right? Not
correct.
React. Okay.
Yes. Yes, all of those are in TypeScript.
Okay, yeah, those should be easy to convert over.
And so I think that's it, really. For the rest of this, it's just a big shell. So, like, there's this blank starting page. This is a...
I need the repo.
Piece. Oh, I thought you had it earlier. No?
I looked and then I forgot about it. And you know what? I just need
I can send that to you.
DevRel Social.
GitHub, repo, view.
Why is it not finding it? GitHub search sometimes is like not.
I concur.
Did you just send it somewhere?
Docker, whoa. I put it out in the chat.
Perfect, cool.
For folks that use the GitHub CLI, if you do view and then --web, it will pop open a browser.
I mean, you wouldn't have the environment variable, so you couldn't really run this, but just...
Yeah, but definitely we'll keep working on the README so that you're able to. The goal with this is if you want to run this on your own, great. Otherwise, we'll hopefully, when we get done with it all, it'll be just a SaaS service that you can do everything you want as a DevRel up there. So like Twitter, LinkedIn, all the fun things.
Mastodon.
Mastodon, yes. That'll be interesting. So Mastodon has open APIs. I still can't quite get my head around Mastodon.
Well,
because
I
of
guess I don't
individual
know
servers.
that if that is accurate or not. I don't know how their APIs work. I assume they do have something though. I saw Zach Leatherman. That's another person I met, 11D. He made a Twitter, he pulled all of his Twitter data and got it like all on a feed on his website, which I mean, Twitter obviously has an API, but that doesn't have anything to do with Mastodon. He just posted it on Mastodon.
Nice.
Phil also mentioned that if you do pull your Twitter data and want to do with that, if you ever did anything in circles that you didn't want shared with the public, they don't hide that in your JSON data that you get back. So it seems like it's a public tweet, and
wow. That's
he's like, they're breaking some like privacy.
I did download all of CodingCats and all of my personal one, and
I have it requested. I haven't gotten an email yet.
I didn't realize how it comes to you. It's in like a localized HTML form, so it like republishes everything with all like image.
Oh,
like it's really weird.
Interesting.
Here, I'll show it to
Phil
you.
was saying he was trying to massage the JSON data. Like,
I think Phil better be careful of that. So this is what it looks like, and then you can just run the. Oh my gosh, where is it?
There's some like.
You just pop that open, and here's all of your stuff.
Everything is so small on your screen.
So weird.
There you go.
But this is like the archive itself. So you can pop it open and you see
like
tweets.
a Twitter website of just your stuff.
Exactly. I thought it was kind of wild.
That is kind of wild.
Whoops. Let's not look at that one.
Let's hope this isn't a microservice that Elon kills. Have you heard about the 2FA?
I have. I was nervous to log out of anything.
I ran into it when I was trying to get my data. It wanted me to 2FA, and the text one wouldn't work.
Oh my goodness.
The email one did, thankfully, so I was able to request my data. But yeah,
not good.
Not looking good for Twitter right now.
So I don't know if we necessarily need. I don't know. I think this is one of those deals where do we do a new branch or just create a whole new repo?
I would.
Could I do like a subfolder? Roll it that way? What do you think?
I don't know. So I like to have my window open with my old code next to it. So if you do a new branch, it's gonna. You're gonna end up wiping.
I could do just another copy and have it open. Like just open.
Do whatever you want. Whatever flow works for you. I don't want to tell you how to code.
I think what I'll do is just create a new project and then merge it in later.
Yeah.
So CD web, probably that's it. Because now we're gonna do what? Svelte or npx Svelte?
npm create.
Oh, npm?
Create. Yeah, okay. It's npm create Svelte. You're making me second guess it, but yeah.
I'm crazy, man. Release
candidate. And now you name your branch or your
I
directory.
didn't know they were on 2. Oh, that's
what?
Svelte version 2.
Okay. I'm like.
Okay.
That next 1.91 might give you a clue that I think we are getting very close. They're at like 97% to their milestone of 1.0.
Sure they are.
On GitHub, like they have a milestone goal and the issues are feeding into that. So
we're going to do a skeleton.
We would do a skeleton project. Yes.
It is just past Halloween. So.
And you're going to want TypeScript.
Folks, dad jokes.
Yeah. And you're probably going to want ESLint and Prettier. And then they have a playwright option, but that's up to you.
Don't care. For now.
Okay. So, I like that they give you the option and it's kind of a default. Like this is what we prefer and it would configure it for you, which is nice.
Can't type.
What did you name There we go.
All right. So now we have both. Are there any cool like Svelte components, like pre-done UI type stuff that we can use to make it a little faster, or no?
So there are some design systems. Is that what you're like
Yeah,
getting
sorry.
at? Like
That's probably what I should ask.
Material has a Svelte,
Oh.
Carbon has a Svelte design system. Most people, because you like Tailwind,
I love
use
Tailwind.
Daisy UI
Oh,
or
that's right. You
Radix
can
UI.
use Daisy with it. So we're already using Daisy in Next.js. We just have to look
Yeah,
up
so we
how
can
to
just
install it.
use that already. So the first thing I would do is
Sweet.
probably go ahead and configure Tailwind, because that's going to be an easy command for us.
Is that like a Svelte command?
npx
npx.
svelte-add. No, together. No space. There you go. Tailwind CS. Oh,
Go ahead.
Tailwind CSS.
I don't know how you remember. Did you look that up?
I did
hope.
not. These are ones that I've done enough times that I remember them. I think I've just done them over and over, but there are lots of them that I do have to look up.
All right, let's see what this.
I was wondering if I was going to get that one right in my head. So that should have generated your Tailwind config file for you, which it did in your folder directory on your left. It now has that put into your preprocessor in the Svelte config file.
Help me this
I
one.
would collapse your terminal real quick just so we can see. So that preprocess was now set up with PostCSS
Cool.
for you. It generated in your SRC folder and then in your routes folder a plus layout.svelte file that is importing the app PostCSS file, which is your Tailwind stuff. So it generated all of that
That's
out of the
pretty
box.
cool.
I love that command.
Yeah, that's a great command. Good tip. Hot tip.
Yes, hot tip. If you do not use Svelte add,
Someone
Svelte
mark
add.
down the time so we can put a chapter in.
Because have you ever went to install Tailwind and went to their docs?
I like their docs. I really do.
Their docs are nice. So I did the Svelte PR for Tailwind for their docs. But I did this Svelte add command, and then they made me do it in this way because this is what they want you. Every single one of their docs, they want you to do all of these steps. And I'm like, in Svelte, it's not this difficult. Like, you don't need all of these steps. It just does it for you.
Okay.
But they wanted it to be formatted in their way. But there's a lot of steps to set it up.
Here's SvelteKit.
That's the one that I did.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
yeah, they should just put, or you can run this simple command.
And I had that in there, and they made me take it out.
That's interesting.
I know. It's ridiculous, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
Okay, so Tailwind is now configured.
I think I need to do
you
another
have
install.
a layout file in...
Are we doing PM these days?
You can. Do you do PMI instead?
Yeah.
Just do npm. You can take up all your storage space. That's fine. Don't be performant.
Okay. So we're sitting pretty good. npm run dev.
Mm-hmm.
Run dev. The weird port.
That,
look at that.
I've told you about that before.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. Actually, I don't know if it was the leak code after I said that. They said it might be the Roman numerals.
That's what I heard. That's what somebody told
Roman.
me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so do we just start wait, do we need anything else?
I don't think so. I was looking at the other repo and seeing if there's a layout file, but I don't see one.
There's a layout component because...
Oh, there is. So that we would probably just kind of put over... Yeah, I thought I just saw a class in here and I about died. I'm like, why are you using class components?
I could.
Please don't.
Hey, don't get angry with classes. Come on. I grew up object-oriented.
Okay.
So in our layout.svelte file, are you saying we should put all this?
I would take just the HTML pieces, your JSX, like return statement, and see if we could drop that in there. and we're still going to have some.
So,
So that slot is where any children go. So do you have the children? We're
Yeah.
going to put the slot in that children spot.
the other thing, there's a little much, I guess we'll work on, but there's some state in the layout because of the login. So we'll have to work through that.
Okay.
So yeah, let's see what it doesn't like. All these class names we'll have to rewrite.
Just to
So
class. Yep.
that to class. Boop.
Like normal HTML.
Probably like a colon this. So this is the stateful piece.
So this is actually valid Svelte because it's JavaScript once you go into curly braces. So
really,
yeah, it's just
well,
we're gonna have to set up the state and stuff. So like right now you don't have a user. I don't know why the syntax highlighting is making it, but you don't need fragments.
That's where the slot goes, right?
The slot needs to replace the whole fragment and children.
This.
I feel like your layout file could maybe be broken apart.
You totally could be broken apart.
I mean, if you want to take that header out and put the header like in its own component, you could do that, and then the footer is its own component.
I mean, you're like the expert at that stuff. I'll let you do it. Okay, so this is actually a good point, I think, to create a new component for footer. How do we do that?
Because of this new routing convention in Svelte with the plus syntax in front, if a component is only used one time, and this is personal preference, but this is kind of their go-to now, you can just create it in your routes directory without the plus prefix.
I did hear something about this. Okay.
Yeah, this is the way Next is going also. So all of SvelteKit's routing was kind of stolen from Next RFC.
It's just all sharing. We just share things.
No, Rich is like, I just stole it, so it's fine.
Do you co-stream often? We do. We try to
We've been doing this
every single week, but
we've only been doing the coding like maybe this year, but we've been doing podcasts together for 2
years
and a half years.
The podcast is 100.
2 years.
I just had the count, like 110 episodes.
And thank you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like maybe we mesh well together.
So, I guess me yelling.
She puts up with me. I know that.
So there's 2 ways you can create components. There's a lib directory.
Let's not do it. That sounds like the old way, right? Okay.
That is it. I mean, you could still use a lib directory eventually for utils and like other things that you would want to reuse. That's where I would put components that you want to reuse in multiple places. But if it's really just going to one route, you can do it right in the routes directory. So just create a new file. Capital F is still preference, but it .svelte. That's personal preference, though. You could do a lowercase f.
Oh, okay.
It's just that kind of signifies to my brain that it's a component.
Footer. This. It's pretty sweet. It's a very, very awesome footer.
Well, it's mad about the class. That is one of my arguments with JSX. I hate it.
The warning.
Yeah, so you're getting the accessibility warnings that you are not doing something correctly.
Listen, folks, I just dropped this in. I didn't write this. Okay, how do you import a component?
Okay, so at the top of your layout file, you're going to want, in that script tag, you're going to import just like you would footer from, I think it's just, is that named or is that's default export, right? It's in the same directory though. You don't want to go up a directory.
Oh, thank you. I'm like, why is it complaining? Like that?
There you go. Yep.
Okay.
And you still got a lot of warnings because you're using link instead of the just normal A tag. So up you'll have to.
Do you guys have anything fancy in Svelte for link?
Just A.
What's that?
Literally an HTML A element.
Wow. So I can just take this.
There are prefetch things if you want to like add some functionality to it, like prefetching on hover or whatever. It's just an A with an href.
Wow.
Yep.
I was happy that they took it out in Next.js as well.
The link they did?
Sorry, the A tag comes out. It remains a link component though.
Yeah, that did feel like overhead that you didn't need to do, but still,
Yeah.
like having a link component also feels like overhead.
Key 0. I don't know what that's all about.
That's probably a React thing that you needed a key block, and you can remove that because you don't need that. A needs an href on that around socials.
I feel like we need to use
On 42, you need to add an href to that one too.
thank you. I don't even know what this is going for.
Is it an href to /socials?
I guess it's going to be because I have no idea.
So these are different routes that you've created?
I know that Twitter was.
Okay.
So in our pages, we have Twitter and LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah.
That.
Twitter.
So, do you know if Svelte's gonna do kind of what Remix did, and now with the app folder in Next, where you can have like a layout and then a layout within that layout, and it all bubbles together?
Svelte or SvelteKit and Sapper before it have always had nested layouts, but both of them, SvelteKit and Next, are different than the way Remix handles nested layouts. So Remix isolates any code that goes to a nested layout into each individual route, if that makes sense. So anything state-wise or functionality-wise is isolated to that specific route, but that is also in a layout that could have another route stacked on top of it.
Okay.
But
That sounds the same.
in Svelte, you could pass. No, because like in SvelteKit and Next, can you not pass your state between? Like it's more like a component.
I know you can't between. I think I read this the other night that you can't pass state between the layouts, but you can, if there's a component, a dynamic component or something. I don't know if that makes sense.
I'm trying. Yeah. So Remix has loader functions that actually load the data for that page, that route, and those are individual to each route, even if it's nested within something else. So you don't have to have that loader data in Svelte and Next.
Okay.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. So I think like you would have to load the data for each route, and they're isolated to the route that needs that data.
Okay. That makes sense.
But you can share that in SvelteKit and Next.
Yep. Cool. We forgot
What is that label complaining of?
Sorry, what?
The HTML4, I bet, is what it's complaining about.
We forgot the Daisy UI install.
Oh, yep.
Yes. I know there's more to it than that.
Do you have a specific like theme or something?
I think I'm using their defaults, I believe. Where is docs install? So we did that, this part. So it's just the plugins. In Tailwind, plugins.
What key command was that?
Paste.
Is it command back to? You selected the whole line, I think.
I think.
Or did you use your mouse?
Yeah. I just hit Shift and up.
Shift and up. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That label, is that just the HTML4 that it's complaining about there?
Maybe.
Because I know you don't.
I thought that was a thing. Am I wrong, or is it just 4?
4, yeah. There you go.
Man, it's hard going JSX to HTML.
So maybe we should just use the platform.
It's looking good. I know. I agree. I'm not fighting it. I like the change.
So we have a functioning, I mean, we don't have links yet, but we have like a layout.
I'm surprised
Yay.
that didn't center. Must be missing something compared to this one.
It's on the top. You didn't remove it, right?
What do you mean?
Go back.
Oh, you're right. It's the page itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
right.
that was what was there before, right? Did
Yep.
you remove? That's the page.svelte
Yeah,
file.
that's the page file.
That's the slot. That's your child.
That's the slot. Cool.
And your layout page is not
So that should just
saved.
be this.
Is that your index should go in your plus page.svelte file.
Boop.
I'm still not a fan of the plus syntax. It has its benefits and its downsides. It's just ugly to look at. It's really ugly. Your layout file is not saved either, by the way.
Thank you.
I do really like Tailwind for this use case because going from React to Svelte or anything, it's pretty easy to just switch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised this is as easy to do.
Speaking of Builder earlier, did you see that Mitosis integrated Sveltosis into it?
I did see that. And I was
so
trying to
excited.
get the words out. Like, I wish there was a way that we could just move this over. That was going to be my mitosis pitch.
Yes.
Give me.
That reminded me of that, talking about moving between. If you haven't checked out Mitosis, it's really cool. And now you can write Svelte components and merge them into whatever you want. Although you probably won't want to. You will just want to write Svelte forever. I was going to tell you about the thing too. And I forgot. We're talking about Jamstack.conf and I forgot about this thing. So this is my badge.
You should hold it up to the camera a little further. Unless it's going to mess stuff up.
It will mess something up. But
Okay.
you can see the CodingCat sticker, right?
Yeah, it's big.
I went up there and it was really loud and cold. The wind was blowing and they couldn't hear me. And she spelt my name Brittany. And I could not walk around the conference with Brittany on my tag. So I turned it over. I made my own tag and put the CodingCat logo on it. And I had 3 people come up to me at the conference and be like, "Are you the CodingCat podcast?" Like, oh my God, this is insane.
I was
gave away a bunch of
say
hats.
Ryan's new and we should show him. We won this at the Jammies.
Well, I mean, we came in second.
But we won this cool jar.
We did. They gave the people that won a a jar of jam, a golden jar of jam.
The golden jar of jam.
Did you see the Svelte video? So apparently Rich sent one in, but it got lost in transition between Casey and Adam, and they didn't put it in there, and it was just an empty room. And then Phil shows up, and he's like, "Well, Svelte won, but they're not." I was like, "Oh, this looks bad."
That's funny.
It was fine.
So far, Svelte goodness. Now comes kind of some of the more complicated parts.
Yeah, now's when I'm gonna struggle. So we're gonna
let's
have fun with this.
Let's do like the user login first.
That's mad at you because you don't have another href there.
You
have a lot of routes for some reason.
This is all just boilerplate from Daisy UI, so
okay.
I'm not even gonna worry about it right now.
Gotcha.
So let's say in our
was
layout.
that a close all? I did not know that existed.
You're funny. You can close to the right. You can pin. There's all kinds of
Oh
fun
my
stuff.
Gosh.
That way,
I always just X out like one after the other, and I'm so mad.
So if you pin it like this and do a close all, it'll stay because it's pinned. I do that all the time.
Nice. All the tips. Okay. What's next?
Let's work on this right here.
Okay, so we need some authentication.
So this is where the Appwrite stuff's gonna come into play.
Do you want this to live in the layout, like as the whole app has access to this?
Yeah, so what that looks like right now is this button right here.
Okay, so we're gonna create a plus layout.ts file in that routes directory.
Okay.
So you have a .svelte file?
I gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So this is an endpoint in Svelte.
Plus layout.
Plus layout.
Got it. Okay.
And so now we're going to write a load function.
Ooh, what are these magic and lurk things?
I was wondering that too.
If you do...
Oh, I wonder if those are Twitch commands that I don't know.
What's our commands? It's show commands, I think.
It used to be. Is it not running?
It's running. I just don't remember what the command is. I'll have to look it up.
I don't know. Yeah.
Commands? Oh, that might be it too. I used to have it. We should put it back in the title. If you ever want to drop some AJ tags, you can drop all our tags to mess with us.
Please drop.
Boop,
oh, there they go.
boop, boop.
Boopy boop.
Okay. See how I still call them boops?
Just lurking. That is perfectly fine. I like lurkers.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully, like, you can pick up on at least our witty banter.
It does bother me very much that the text is centered and the links are centered differently. That's going to have to change because I can't look at that.
So that's because that button's missing.
Yeah.
It will fix that. I don't like it either. So let's check out this layout and this user. So this user actually gets passed in to every page we go through, and that's one of those things, like, I don't know how that works in Svelte.
So that's why we're going to do it at the layout level. So it's
Okay.
going to be accessible to every file if we do it this way. And
So-
we need to load some data into that layout. So in that layout.ts file,
So this,
are you finding the code
this
for
is
that?
like the code we'll need ish, because so again, React being React, we have all this
A
crazy
hook.
state man
Yeah.
hook stuff. So
Oh, geez.
right.
Oh.
I knew that'd be your reaction. So basically,
This is why I like Remix, because like you don't have to do all this garbage. I don't know that you need this in SvelteKit either.
Yeah, probably don't, because we just need a.
Let's
probably
just
a
start with
const
like the
start.
most basic thing that we
Okay.
can do.
So first things first, what we're going to do is initialize the client right here. So this is the first thing we're gonna do. Actually, so we gotta install Appwrite.
So you need to shut down your server.
I'll just open another one. npm install Appwrite. Should be on 10 something, and then we'll have to import from Appwrite client. Oh my goodness, autocomplete, you are frustrating me today. So I think we can just do const client equals new client.
Mhm.
And then I think we have to do auth as well. Authenticate, or user.
Okay.
So we'll have to do const user equals new.
Thank you for using const too. I've seen a lot of people recently using let in their stuff, and then it will warn me when I get into my VS Code that like this is not renamed or reassigned.
I always forget this. I don't know that we need this. I think the client handles this state.
Let's see if we can log the client. So leave the client there, and then
We can. It's just gonna be like a class, though.
I just want to make sure we're getting the data back.
Sure.
That it's like imported and installed.
Okay.
So
You just want to do this?
No, you can't do that. So you can do that, but
It'll
it
run.
might log that. Let's see. I don't know.
It should log it on the server at least, right?
But you're not returning anything to the UI, so I don't know without returning something back to the UI if it's going to register.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So there's a load function that you need to run that in.
So
and I think then it would run.
Do we import to get it to go?
No, just you want me to just in the layout.ts file, we need an export async function load, or you can do an arrow function if you want.
Like that?
Load, yep.
If I could spell.
And The type on that is page load. Is this something that's always going to run on the server, by the way? Or does it need to
The
be on
client has to run
it's
on
client?
the front
Okay. Then we're in the right file.
Okay.
So for server side only stuff, you can do a dot server in between your name and your TS, and it will only run on the server.
Oh, I
But
gotcha.
this runs on the server and then hydrates on the client.
Gotcha. Perfect.
So this is type of page load, and you'll have to import page load, Pascal case. And then that comes from import type a named export.
From
from $/$ types. You're gonna hate it. Hate it. Hate it.
Slash
$ types. It's awful.
Are you serious?
I'm
Okay.
serious. They like $.
So
You have to
that?
name,
Okay.
with curlies.
Okay.
Why is it mad? Type. Import type. There. Yeah. This happens sometimes, and that is just, no, it's page load. It's just,
Really? Okay.
have you ran npm run dev? So sometimes if your server is not running, it doesn't generate the types automatically like it should. Okay. I ignore it for now.
Okay.
Try to do your console in there and then just return nothing back. An empty object, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Did you get a console in the terminal? Still mad about that. Stupid. The automatic type generation in Svelte with VS Code and stuff, it's one of the most frustrating things for me.
I sure did.
About it.
We got
Okay.
it.
So it's working.
It's working.
Perfect. So now we can continue. So that's what we need to end up like finishing your function out with whatever Appwrite set up for the user and return that user back to the UI
I
file.
think what we'll essentially need is probably a login. Let's see if I can find
So wherever your code that you.
So create a session. Oh, it's account. See, I always mess that up.
Would it be better if you maybe split screen your VS Code where you can see your old?
Probably. Let's do that.
I don't know if that would be helpful, but it might. That would help me.
Maybe like that-ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully everyone is happy at home. Account. So we need to do account as well. Const account equals new account, and we pass into that client so it extends the class. So far so good. So I think when you save this, you should now see maybe.
But you didn't console it, did you? You just consoled. There you go.
The client embedded in it. Okay. So this should be the same thing.
So do you want that in like a try catch block or like, oh, it is in a try catch block. I see.
Yeah.
Why is that?
And so the way I usually do these things is I'll like anything I need to export, I'll just kind of list them out, but whatever you want to do on Svelte side. So
I don't think it matters. Like these are just functions that you can use.
So I can just export it like that.
Well, that would be probably if you want to put it in a different file. If you're just using it within the same file, I don't think you need to export it, right?
So we'll end up using this on the front end for the button click.
Okay, then you probably do want to do like a utils file, right?
I think all of this could honestly end up in a utils because we'll use the Appwrite stuff all over the place.
Let's do that now then. Okay. In your directory, create in the src directory, Sorry. And then above that, actually, you're going to want a lib because there's an alias set up to the lib folder. And so put lib on top in src and then utils inside of that. And then you can easily path to that with a $.
Let's just call this like Appwrite.
Yep. and then put all your export functions in there.
Cool. Where did I go?
Layout.ts is where it's at. Yeah. I don't know why that try catch block is yelling at you either. Red lines really bother me. And the account is not in there. So that's going to be a problem, isn't it?
We need all of this.
Okay. There we go.
So that needs to happen one time at least.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it should all happen just one time. We shouldn't be dry code. Dry code. Disable no useless catch. Oh, because you're just throwing an error. And so in SvelteKit, you can return an error.
We actually don't need this.
But this is...
All we need is console.log of this, just so we can see it, because what happens...
Do console.error.
And that's so this is why I'm saying this. When you actually hit this the first time, it will try to see if you're logged in, and it will fail through. Although this is the create session, so that's not true at all. The other one that we'll get to.
I thought console just error would color it as an error for you.
Yeah, so this makes sense. There's another one. This is React BS. There's another version of this when we're logging in that tries to like make sure your session's good, and that we want to go, oh nope, it failed silently, not actively. So
okay.
Delete sessions.
I think you're going to be able to delete so much code by moving to Svelte. Like, this is going to be insane.
So what do we have here?
Side by side. And then we merge this into that other branch and see all the red.
Same.
It's going to be so gratifying.
I just appreciate the fact, like, when you know JavaScript, this stuff all kind of flows together, right?
It does, yeah. There is some Svelte stuff, but it's very minimal and easy. Those are React things that we don't need.
We'll end up needing to store like the sessions somewhere, so I'll just comment these out for now.
Okay. I have no idea how any of that works, so we're gonna have to learn that together.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna grab these over. I know there's a special way to do this as well.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't really know this either.
There should be client.blah. So I think when we were doing this with James Q Quick, what we found out was to make sure it's not .env local, it's just .env. I think that's what messed up so much the last time.
I don't think that's the case. I've used a .env, but there's a different way to do them as imports now, depending on if you need them to go, because these are going to the client. They have like a public, dynamic, and static.
Public dynamic. Oh, okay, cool.
Different environment variables. And
yeah.
I have the docs pulled up for it. You also need an export in front of the function on line 19. Probably.
Cool. There's some other stuff. So what I really need to get to is the, like, I guess we have create session, get sessions. So between...
What is that endpoint that is not created on 7? Endpoint and project ID that we don't have.
It's complaining because they're blank. What we could do...
Oh, I see.
I want to put a check in, but if the red bugs you, we could always do this.
I was just making sure that it's not something we did wrong. Yeah, I see. Okay.
Export.
And that's
so
that section.
This is the thing we need to talk about. So realistically, I think all this session management stuff should be much more straightforward in Svelte than it was in React. So this might be overkill, to be honest. But theoretically, I think in Svelte you can just do this at a top level, right? So you do.
Well, that's what we're doing in that layout file, right? Oops. So we're doing all of this for the entire app by putting it in that layout file.
Okay. So I think.
Is that some sort of like context that you are passing to something? But is that why it's a session? Like.
So the session is when you log in the user, it's their user session. At
Their
that
user
point.
session, but is it a session because it needs to get passed into like another route or something for Next?
Just the layout in this case for no, that's not true either because we need to know if the user is logged in or not to like
I
forward
I
them
feel
back.
like the session is going to be taken care of by them logging in at that top level, and then it takes care of the whole app.
So you can
For me, a
pass.
session goes between sessions in the browser. So if you close the tab and you come back to it, you want to save that state. Is it for that, or is it for like the actual app, like while you're in the page?
This would be while the page is active. Yeah.
I don't know that you would need that in Svelte. I don't know that's true, but I don't see.
So it's basically here. Let me show you this, and maybe this will help. So this layout component, because I'm logged in, has this. If I go to that Twitter page like that, it still knows I'm logged in because that session variable.
But that layout file in Svelte is doing that. It's loading that
Right.
data for every route.
So-
So it should have that session already.
But we have to like do that in here though, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So do we store the session at this level, or do we where do we store that at? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
we're
saying?
going to return that user that you're using in that layout file
Okay. Like
in that
count.
load function. Yeah, so you're going to use these functions that you're exporting in that layout.ts file,
Okay.
and you're going to return that user eventually back to the UI.
So we need to, instead of doing this, let's do this. This is the one that's the issue. So let's take that out and actually return this then. I don't know if we like this in here or not, but we can figure that out as we go.
Is that something from Appwrite?
This lists sessions.
Yeah, okay.
So up here, what we're going to have to do is import that.
Yeah, you'll import your functions and
so $? Is that
$lib. You don't need that first bracket, lib, and then /utils, and then your file name.
Is this a TypeScript thingy?
It's the same thing. And sometimes closing your VS Code instance and then reopening it will make it go away, which makes absolutely no sense. So it's buggy, and they know it's buggy, and I don't know why it's buggy. It just came back. I don't know. You might want to run like npm install again. I have no.
Isn't that in here somewhere? No.
No.
Well, it extends this, so this should have a $lib thing. This right here.
That $types file is the one that we tried to pull the page load from. So, I mean, you can even click on that page load and get into that types file and look, and it won't be there. But it should be. It should automatically generate that for you, and it's not there.
Weird. There's layout load.
Yeah. Well, we are doing layout load, so maybe that's what we should be using. That's why, because I'm using the wrong type.
Okay.
It's not a page, it's a layout. So obviously layout load.
Mystery solved. Now if we can just
So now the type is mad though.
So $. There's
That's
app.
right. No, it's lib because it's an alias, but it's set up under the hood. It's not one that has to be listed in the Vite config. It's just a Vite alias.
Well, that's frustrating.
Yeah, let me see. I'm sure I have a. Styles. Maybe do not even have to put lib. Just try $utils. Maybe they took out the lib part of it.
wonder if it's app. Because it's...
No, that's coming from SvelteKit. That is provided. Those are modules provided by SvelteKit to help with like.
I think
You
I'm
can,
gonna
you
do
can
that for now.
absolute path, but it's
just to keep moving.
make
I
it
guess.
stop yelling at you.
Get sessions. All right. So the load function that fires every time the layout loads, right? So we need to run const
Yes.
sessions equal to that.
I was looking in the Svelte Sirens repo, and we're using $ and then whatever the folder name is inside of lib, and it's working, and I don't know why. That's so weird.
Oops.
Oh, we have some aliases set up.
So if I return something
That's
like
actually
sessions,
nice.
Sessions is like, when you do this on this return, is this a one-time static load? Like because it runs on the server, right?
It will run on the server and then hydrate on the client. So
Okay.
you're returning data from the server to be used on the client.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. I'm trying to think if I need to do if window type of thing, or in case this blows
You
up on
might
SvelteKit.
you might need that on the client side, but this is all server side code that you're writing.
Well, the session aspect won't run on the server. That's why I'm trying to figure
Then that
out.
may not work here.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if I need to do if window, then run
So
this.
that code we can write in a script tag in the .svelte file.
That's what I was wondering. Okay, that makes more sense.
But whatever data you need for that user from Appwrite that you do want to get on the server, that you want to run here.
Yeah, we won't do anything server side for data.
Nothing at all?
Not at this time. All of our functions and stuff will be passed real time. We're not like building pages or anything. It's all...
So it's all client side rendered.
Yeah.
You can't do any server side rendering?
The HTML parts, yes. This is a topic of discussion right now. So we know our SSR.
I feel like that's a limitation.
Yeah, we'll call it a limitation. There's ways around it. I hacked through it on, I don't know, one of my many examples.
Because it's just JavaScript, right? Like it should be able to run on the server and get the data that it needs to return to the client without needing the JavaScript to run all that.
Yeah, the difference is that the web browser, bless you, the web browser is actually where all that stuff gets stored, like cookies and things. So like you have to kind of do a proxy and interpret it and then pass it through, and I don't want to do all that in this app.
So okay, yeah, I see.
We're gonna do that on the front.
SvelteKit does like have cookie stuff and session stuff and all of that. I don't know how to use any of that either. So
we can probably do nothing in here right now, right?
I guess, yeah. Because you're saying everything has to be run on the client, then we need to do that in the .svelte file.
Okay. So
after we went through all of that with that typing.
It's all good. So then sessions is available globally.
So you wanted that if browser or something?
It's gonna be this right here. I think this will be okay because it's in the script tag out here now, right? I think it will be.
But you want to wait on the component to load?
Yeah.
Do you need to check if the browser is, like, if everything's hydrated on the page?
The client call won't happen until after it's hydrated.
We can try it that way and see if that works.
So I think this is how that needs to work. Why doesn't it like this? Unexpected token. So can we do this type of, I always forget what this is called. Ternary check.
I mean, it is JavaScript there. That is not how I would do it in Svelte, though. I would do an if block.
Okay. So let's do.
So
Does
it's
the
still
if
curly
go
braces.
here? Like at
It
this
would
level?
where you just had that JavaScript ternary started, like
Mm-hmm.
instead of sessions, say if hashtag if, and then sessions, and then put
I assume there's like a
there's like a
else
little
right
on
there.
line 84. Oh, that you're right, actually. And then on line 84, remove those parentheses and put a colon else.
Okay. What doesn't I like about this? I thought we added this. Oh wait.
I guess I was like, can you do a top level await?
Ooh.
Can you just do like an iffy function?
Is there such thing as like streaming or observables in Svelte?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Streaming is something that Remix is working on, I know, but I've never heard of either of those things in Svelte.
Can I await down here?
There's an await block. So inside of that, but
Work.
what are you checking for? You could do.
So this, when this gets called, it's going to go out and grab the sessions, but
But it's a promise. So
yeah,
you
it's a
need
promise.
you need to like resolve your promise, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out where we actually want to. Well, I guess
You need like a function to resolve your promise,
I guess-
right? Can we not
well,
create a function and say
I think we'll just return this, and then. So can you do a then in Svelte?
I mean,
Like
there are
eventually what we have to do is make this call and then set sessions, and only when sessions is set, show the button. Does that make sense?
sort of trying to think of the best way to do that.
Maybe if we just run this.
So do you need a piece of state that's in that function call there that once it's true, that's what you want to check for, right? Or do you want to run that code in the function in the utils file, or do you want to run that on the client?
On the client.
So in your layout.svelte file, you need a new function that's going to hold a piece of state. You could create a new variable, let user.
So I could do
let user.
Like that.
And then nothing. Yeah. And then have your await function, call your function. Yeah, you can do that. However you want to, you can do null, you can do nothing, you can.
So now I can do.
It wants a type. That's why it's
like
mad at you. And you want to await that.
Oops.
Async, I mean.
Oh my gosh.
I get so confused when doing async arrow functions because I don't remember your equals should be on the other side.
Oh my
Const get user equals and
this
then
is embarrassing. Const
and then the name of your function
user equals nope.
And then async equals yeah, and then your parentheses.
Paren that.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man, that was brutal. Okay.
I also get very confused when doing that though. But now you can await your get sessions function inside of that if you want, because now it has a top level.
Gotcha. Okay. So then we can say user equals that thing.
And yeah, it's a function. Yep.
Okay.
And
I thought there was like more magic than just
that needs
JavaScript.
a type. That's why that user is mad at you.
Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna. Actually, I think I did create types at some point finally. And actually, wait, I'm totally silly. There's types in Appwrite itself. So we can do import types, type user. No, it's model. It's model from Appwrite. I know that's what it is. Why is it complaining?
Oh, you have to do lang equals TypeScript in your script tag,
Up
like
here?
an attribute. As an
Oh,
attribute, like an
I
HTML.
gotcha.
Yeah. TS. In quotes, I think. It doesn't seem
Oops.
mad at you, but
Yes, I did mean models.
ugh.
Dot user? Oh my god. Dot account? Maybe it's account. I don't remember. Yeah, that looks
This,
right.
and then probably or null.
This also wants something like that.
Oh, is it a generic?
Um,
I don't think you need the equals, right?
I don't know why I want to put in here.
Oh, because you're setting it to null. I see.
Maybe I can put null in here? Any? Sure.
Sure.
It's just the extra parameters, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah. So this is
Now, why is that user mad at you?
session list. Yeah, that is a list. Oh my goodness. I might have to go look up how to get a single session.
This is why TypeScript drives me crazy. It makes it so much slower. I
Yeah, but
know it's
this is
better.
correcting all the things I do wrong.
Yes,
So,
but
so I think we have 9 minutes left in our 90-minute coding
I
session.
feel like we got way farther than we've gotten in any other session. So.
I think what I need to do is actually go write another like Appwrite login and make sure it works so I'm not fumbling around so much. Clearly, I can't even type an arrow function today, so things are moving a little rough. I actually thought I had a shortcut for that too. I thought it was function. Maybe that. I knew I had one somewhere. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's a good stopping point for now. We'll get
You
to
want
the
to push
state
this
part
code up?
next time. Yeah.
How did Hacktoberfest go, by the way? We haven't
Yeah.
chatted since, like,
Let me
did
think
we wrap
about
up?
where to push this because I think I'll switch a branch and then push
Oh,
this
okay.
up and then
Okay.
do something. I don't know.
Don't forget to save that file before you close that.
Safe. Yeah, Hacktoberfest was crazy busy. Shocking amount of work. I don't think we have. I don't know. I hate to give a percentage. There's a large percentage of PRs still not like accepted and merged because it's just there's so much.
Oh,
I think it was okay for our users, but it was a lot. We got a lot of like swag sent out and stuff like that, so that was good.
did you get a lot of good quality
We
PRs?
did, yeah. There was only like I'd say a few. There was a decent amount, but not like years past. It was just
Mm,
like horrible from what I've seen. So I thought we got a good amount of PRs that were solid PRs for sure. The
awesome.
one thing that we struggle with, and I've been thinking about this ever since, what we got a lot of was we said if you're the first person to say assign me, like we would assign you, but if you already had issues, like we wanted to give the opportunity to other people until like you were done working on that one. And that became
Okay.
really challenging because it's like, okay, I'll assign you, and then right before you go check, like see what else they're working on, and it was kind of this like cat and mouse game of, oh, you already have one. I'm gonna go to the next person that wants it, and that part I didn't like. So
We have done that in the past too, with trying to triage and like allow people to only work on one thing, and that is the maintainer's job during Hacktoberfest is really difficult.
yeah, and luckily our engineering team did the vast majority of it. So huge props to them. They're amazing at what they do. It's unbelievable. So yeah, I just get to talk about it. I did all of the like responding, and we had a script that would run and show us like, here's all the PRs to respond to. Here's all the people, like all that stuff. But they did all the hard work, which is awesome.
Well,
Did you guys
cool.
do anything on Netlify?
No, there was nothing for Netlify. I do that Zero to Mastery community. I like
That's
help
right.
them a little bit. I did not do as much this year, just everything was so busy. It felt like in general. I think I barely made my 4 PRs to get, but I did do the maintainer side, so I have a few PRs from that too. But I never trust that on Hacktoberfest because it doesn't tell you that until after it's over. So I always want to get my PRs
Yeah.
and my maintainer side.
I think I got
3 out of 4. Oh no.
I don't know. There's a bunch. I think it's +4. 4 + 3 divided by 4. Something.
3
I think
divided by
I
4
think
is
we got I got all
75%.
the things.
I'm
I
gonna
don't believe I picked the tree, and I don't remember why, or maybe I did. I don't know.
I have
Oh yeah, I
every
did.
year's shirt and I feel like I just need the collection at this point to have
Yeah,
every shirt.
that's true. All
Mine
right.
says 4 + 1/4.
Yeah, I feel like you need 4, and you must have done 5, something
Yeah.
like that. Or 4 were accepted, one's
So
pending.
4 + 1/4.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up and go back to real work, even though I think we talked about Appwrite a decent amount.
We did. I think it counts.
All right, y'all. Next week, look forward to some more state in Svelte, and we'll hook up functions. It sounds like that might be tricky next week because those are React packages to pick like the color wheel.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we did all the easy stuff.
Oh, fantastic.
All right,
Thanks, friend.
everybody.
Good to
We'll
see
see you
you.
next week.
Thanks for your lurkers.
See ya.
Bye.